Hello, we're doing our report on SMC Annual Security Report 2021 analysis. I'm Alana Alcantara.
I'm Ernesto Campos.
And I'm Ramon Hernandez.
The SMC Annual Security Report of 2021 analysis goes over the updated disclosure of crime statistics, the security safety procedures, and who to contact if you're in a dangerous situation or witnessing it. This report also provides important campus and off-campus emergency phone numbers. In this presentation, we will be showing how the author uses ethos and logos to get the message about safety on campus across to the audience.
The first thing we would like to talk about would be page layout. What does the report utilize space of the page? The report utilizes space on the page well, and the whole document is written in the form of a formal essay. Every new topic that is addressed has a heading. The headings are very helpful in keeping the reader attentive to the report. It also organizes information very well and allows for the reader to quickly look through the report and find exactly what type of information they're looking for, especially since this report is so heavy on the safety. It's very helpful. The margins on the page were set at a reasonable length, and the page number and the footer adds more color to the page and it helps keep the reader locked in. Next. Are the different objects on the page placed on a manner that makes sense and easy to read? The bold titles help determine what the following topic is about and related information on the topic. In some instances, the author numbers and procedures to make it clear. The numbering really helps keep the information very put together, and it helps the reader know exactly what procedures to follow, as well as the information, the numbers that are provided, and it's just overall pleasing to the eye and keeps readers hooked on. Next. Text analysis. How much text do the pages include? The report is a bit wordy, but it is more organized compared to the rest of the reports. The organization and spacing between each line makes it flow better and makes the information easier to follow along. The report also has a bit of statistics displayed on the table at the end and a few phone numbers that are linked to important resources. This helps people connect the issues being addressed with their own personal lives as well as how safe they would feel on campus. And having this table allows all the information that's laid out in the report to be more organized and just have it summed up into one spot. And adding the color also helps make it feel more professional as well as engaging with the audience. Next slide. Legibility of the report. The report discusses strong topics about safety on campus and addresses the potential cases and defines what they are in simple terms. The report uses a mixture of logos and ethos by providing the facts as well as listing additional resources to help aid anyone who falls victim to these crimes on campus. There's a nearly to-do guide to help with this as well. And I really like how in some instances it uses numbers for procedures. It also uses bullet points to make the information about the procedure a lot quicker and easier to read as well. Next slide. Do they have an underlying political, social, emotional meaning? There is more social and emotional meaning overall in the report. The main focus is on student safety and feeling comfortable on campus, and with the statistics, it really does help provide that information very efficiently. The worst case scenario, the report provides details on what to do if there is an unrecorded incident. Safety is the school's main priority and it really does affect attendance. This report helps achieve that goal. Next slide.
The only images that are in the report are the chief police officer and the graphs with statistical data. For the chief police officer, his image was added because in the beginning of the report, it starts out with a letter from him. It was added to show that he is working to keep the campus safe. This is using ethos because it is using the chief police to make the report more trustworthy. Ethos focuses the attention on the writer or speaker's trustworthiness. This chart was added to show the college statistical crimes within the past 3 years. This was added to give the reader a visual overview of what the past situation of SMC crime rate was. This is use of logos because it is using the statistical data to further enforce the need to read this report. Logos focuses the attention of the reader on the message. Do the images make it easier or more difficult to understand the report? The images make the report easier to understand because they are used to emphasize the statement and provide necessary data to the readers. It is not distracting or reused. The images are used to help persuade the audience to read the report and understand the necessity of knowing the safety protocols to make not only themselves safer, but to possibly protect others if they see them in a dangerous situation. Also, although it's not required in this report, they do use the HATS method, which is headings, axis, typography, and space. An example of this is using the table of contents and having them directly as the headings. Credibility. How do the authors establish their credibility? The way how the author establishes the credibility in this report is by having a statement from John Adams, the police chief officer, at the start of the report with a letter. Another way the author establishes credibility is by citing multiple times the Santa Monica College website to confirm information, and also citing Megan's Law as a source, which is the trustworthy site that has all the public information regarding sex offenders. Most of the information that is in this report has sightings of either penal codes or referring to a reliable source. The author's trustworthy. The author of this report is the Santa Monica College, and yes, they are trustworthy. The reason for this is that they're public community college and they have been accredited by the Western Association of Schools and Colleges. This means they have the schooling they provide, and the information has been reviewed and deemed fit of having a quality education. They are a public community college, and the link for the site ends in edu, which means that it's an educational site and the information can be assumed to be trustworthy.
Authors research. How do the authors use research in the report? The author uses research in this report by supporting their main points. Where do they use research to support their main points? The author uses research in this report to provide evidence to the member of Santa Monica College. Where does this research come from? The author's research comes from the board policy 3122. And then lastly, how old is the research? The research was based off results the police district recorded from the years between 2018 and 2020. Now on to persuasion. What are the authors trying to persuade you to believe? The authors pursue a goal of equity and inclusion as a police district for Santa Monica College. How do you know? As you can see in the paragraph below, it states every effort will be made to criminally prosecute of these or any other crimes, persuading the reader to feel safe and know what the police district objective is. And then lastly, how persuasive are these arguments, or sorry, what persuasive strategies does the report use? Persuasive strategies used throughout the report will include addressing the objection early and providing reasoning. And then lastly, for the conclusion, in conclusion, we can see that the author was able to provide trustworthy and reliable report that can be used to understand crime in college and safety measures, allowing for students and teachers to feel safe. And lastly, our sources.